Still working on techniques to increase your defense when you are in the guard fighting from the bottom. There's an important technique you have to be aware of, and also this is a very powerful technique. It's a very common way of passing the guard, very common among judo players, and more recently, the last few years, among Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioners. It's the knee ride pass, okay? How does that work, okay? Basically here, Tim and I were engaged. Go ahead, move a little bit, move a little bit. See, I try to establish control in a way that his leg stays between my legs. See, that's what I want right from the beginning. Keep moving. See, I establish a control here, one lapel, to kind of keep his shoulder from turning towards me, while my other arm is going to get busy controlling the sleeve, okay? Now, it is important that you understand, if you're the one doing the position on top, don't ever overcommit the arm that's pushing the shoulder. The reason why, the knee ride happens when you actually slide your knee across and clear. But keep your arm extended, makes you vulnerable to arm bars. See, some guys will fit that space, keep the position there. With the knee, even if they don't have it right away, go back one step. Even if you pass, let's say, which is like within a little bit, the knee ride basically is this. The guy throws the hip and eventually slide the foot out. Okay? Now, if I have my arm extended, all he needs is to scoot the hip out once and get his knee on my chest. That's a position that will be hard for me to defend. So if you're the one doing the technique on top, you need to be aware of that last part of the position and keep your arm 90 degrees with your elbow heavy against your partner's hip. Okay? So we're playing here. Let's see how it would work. Just defend the guard. Go ahead. See, as soon as I'm here, so make a big step, like a sumo step, go back again. See here, look, big step. And here, I get my knee kind of in between, my elbow in. See that? I have that grip, he's fighting, go ahead. See, I control the arm. So I set the condition now for the pass, which entails, go ahead, getting the knee out, posting the knee on the ground. As I pass my hip, I'll keep my elbow heavy so I can circumvent his legs and eventually clear the legs with my knee. Boom. A lot of times the technique won't stop here. Because I kind of cleared the way, I will actually add the knee on the stomach. If we initiate a series of attacks that could include, since I have this arm, that makes it hard for him to face me. If you try to go ahead and face me a little bit, go ahead, face. See, as long as I can lift this arm, I take a lot of his support to rotate this way. As he faces me, he keeps this lapel exposed enough that I can secure it. And eventually, once I let go of that grip, it's a straight shot towards the other lapel, which I first open all the way. I don't try to choke him from here. And once I secure the grip tight, I'll choose to finish him from the side, which sometimes is not as stable. What I mostly do, I'll try as you defend. I'll keep my weight against the floor initially, defend a little bit. So if you try to rotate, it's not as easy. And here, what I'm gonna do is like use my other leg that's posted on the ground to kind of beat your arm and gives me opening to establish the mount control, okay? Once you're on the mount control, just a word of advice. Most chokes will be effective if you post your forehead on the ground first in order to relax your arms and have full leverage to pull. But if you keep your head too close to your partner's head, over here, some guys, especially strong guys, they're gonna roll you over, you know, before, you know, don't know what to do, the other side now. Yeah, right here. It's kind of like he can pick and choose where he wants to roll me. Basically what I'm doing here is, for balance purpose, my forehead will be mobile. So I have double grip, okay? One hand with the four fingers inside, second hand with the thumb. Okay, I always try to dig the forearm under the jaw. Okay, over here. And as he tries to roll me, see how my forehead moves? Keep rolling, keep pushing. Look how much longer I can stay on top just because I moved my forehead. Okay, and this is a precious amount of time because the choke doesn't take that long to kick in. You know, in a matter of seconds, he'll be done. Okay? Let's go back again. So now here, basically what we're doing is kind of trying to do a knee right pass strategy. Let's go. Good. Sumo step. Close the gap. Good. Control the arm. Good. Move your hip. Turn more your hip. Keep your elbow in. Keep going. Keep going. Look how my knee will clear eventually. See my knee here? My knee kind of clears that leg. See that? He's kind of holding my arm here. Keep moving. Keep moving. Stretch your arm out. Control. Okay? Remember this. Your partner's arm is in this position. I always like to touch on the submission from the side mount as like a way for you to have some goal, okay? If the guy's arm points down, okay, keep moving, keep moving. One elbow on the shoulder, the other elbow inside the arm. You see that? Go back again. I want to make sure that when I try to get your arm with this arm alone, I want you to turn. Go ahead. If I try to move this arm, you see I can't. Go back again. I want to use this arm to catch that arm. Okay, I'm targeting his opposite arm. So I have to stop him from moving by posting my elbow on his shoulder. Move again. See, I have weight against the shoulder. Now I can afford to get this arm free to circle inside. Okay, a simple submission from here is kind of keep your head tight. Okay, hand on the ground. I really like in this position here to actually put my elbow in front of his stomach. That allows me, if he tries to turn towards me, to kind of like put my weight on his hip, turn. See, it's not as easy. If he tries to actually flat his back on the ground, see, the elbow kind of holds his arm in a way that he kind of gets trapped over there. Your weight, like I said, when you put your elbow in front of the stomach, kind of tilts slightly to the hip. You don't stay straight, right here. And now you take your time to do a two-step deal. One step, just to kind of establish the angle. Second step, right before you do it, you grab the leg, step a little deeper, okay, and eventually you set the second leg over and fall into an armbar. Okay? So, this could be, besides the knee on the stomach, a nice way for you to complement the knee right pass. I know I'm kind of covering more material than just the defense, but I want the partner on top to be dangerous enough to challenge your defense. Okay? Let me touch again on the side mount, and we're gonna go back to the knee right after this. Okay? So I ended up on the top, and my partner's arm was kind of pointing down, like this angle here. See, he was not here, he was here. Okay, keep moving a little bit. So pin the shoulder regardless of what he does. And you have all the freedom here. Look, I already secured the arm. Once you do that, as he tries to move, you control the arm, put your elbow in front of the stomach, move a little bit. So you keep all that weight there. See how the weight is heavy on the elbow and heavy on the hip? So he's kind of like in a position here, whichever side he wants to roll, he has a lot of pressure, okay? And eventually what I do is one step over the head just to establish the angle, reach out for the leg, which you can grab at thigh, hip level, you know, whichever you can grab, okay? And then one deeper step closer to the belt, okay? One thing I want you to remember this is turn around. Also how you work the other leg, okay? Here, the other leg, when I step, okay, I'm gonna try to actually beat his second arm. How? If I step too wide, he's gonna have that hand to actually reach and block my leg. So as I try to sit, see, my leg is no longer across his face. It gives him the opportunity to roll out of the position, okay? So, just move a little bit this way. His arm was pointing down, as we saw earlier, okay? Arm was pointing down. So here, I don't want to allow him to dig more under my back than what he already got. So keep moving a little bit. Elbow in, against the shoulder. Elbow rotates. Keep control. Elbow right in front of the stomach. Move. So weight on the hip. Look, tilt your weight against your shoulder. Okay. And eventually here, one step behind the head. Catch there. Now is the detail of the foot. Of the other foot, which I want you to pay attention. When I step my second leg deeper, The other foot, I'll try to step and turn my knee out. So as he tries to use the arm, my ankle rides under his elbow. Do you see that? So I actually beat that hand before he was able to use it. And now I'm free to control and extend the arm into an easy, arm bar over here. Okay? This position is a basic position, yet very effective. Usually when you start from the guard, you want to feel comfortable. Go ahead and move a little bit. Some individuals like to work with double grip. Okay? Others like to work with one grip, holding both. Go ahead, keep holding both lapels while the other one on the belt. You need to have a chest and a hip block. The chest is to create more space so he doesn't reach out for the choke. The hip block is to actually prevent him from attacking my arm. If he ever had a chance to grab my arm here, I'll try to use that push on the hip to give enough room for my elbow to retrieve. Okay? But here, going back again, go ahead, go. When you stand up, go ahead, pressure. You see how I kind of circle my leg around his hip? Boom, right here. Now I put my weight there, I circle, and I keep squeezing here. If I want to stand up, you see here how I'm using my back. It's really hard. What you do it like sitting in a chair. You see that? You lower your hip a little bit, and now here, let your hip move forward. Look, yeah, keep holding my collar, Okay. Yeah, here, you see, it's like I'm making his hips sit on my leg, so it doesn't sacrifice too much my base, nor my, see here you turn, shake. Once it opens, you already have the leg control, sumo step, secure the knee, okay, secure the arm, isolate the shoulder, move. Foot gets caught and you feel you can't kick out. Okay, some guys like to use the foot to push, but I feel a lot of times redirection is an easier way. Okay, so if for some reason I don't progress here, I try to use my hip or redirect this way first. Okay, now as he tries to defend, I redirect back, boom, and release. Okay, so one more time, if my foot was caught, you cannot progress, keep the pressure, elbow heavy, move his hip, you see that? And go all the way and then turn in, boom, kick out. So you go back and forth. Did you notice how his arm is already pointing down? So here, arm is pointing down. So as he defends, elbow on the shoulder, I kind of dig right here. And like I said, he's in a tough spot because if you ever try to do something to defend the arm, you'll be like bringing his wrist up. If he does, he falls into the key lock without a fight. Okay? So it's really, once I'm here, I want to control his arm here. Okay, as he tries to defend, go ahead. Pressure on the shoulder, look, boom, control, elbow in front of the stomach, tilt, move a little bit, no, fight. See here the control there? Boom, so you have control, you feel comfortable. So kind of step behind the head, get a feeling for the hip with the leg. As you get deep with that step the second leg, and make sure that you circumvent the elbow. Turn your knee out and try to hide that foot inside the elbow. When you're here and the arm is bent, control your lapel and try to point your elbow to the ceiling. You see that? That usually overruns his resistance. Okay? Very good. Let's figure out some strategies here to stop the knee ride pass. Since we've seen the effects of when the knee rides, go ahead. So the first thing I do is I try to keep my elbows tight. Go ahead. This elbow kind of like under the arm a little bit to relieve my shoulder. It is very important in this position that I keep my forearm kind of like buffering his knee. You see that? Whether he has control over my sleeve or not. The other knee is kind of blocking the hip. Okay, very important. You don't keep the knee below the hip because they can step back. See, and that can create a lot of problem. They can attack your leg or actually pass your guard that way. So when you start the position again, one more time. So as you start, go. See, I try to actually block your arm and I keep my feet tight, okay? My other foot, in this case my left one, is gonna hook under his shin, okay? And I kind of squeeze his foot with my ankle of my top leg, the right leg in this case, and the shin, keep progressing, go ahead. I can always kind of stretch his leg back with my hook, and actually I help with the arm. Okay, in this position here, keep moving, keep moving. As soon as I can, I add the foot on the hip. Go ahead. Foot on the hip, and here I immediately try to rebuild my guard, which is I have a foot on the hip, I have the arm control, and we already see familiar techniques over here. Okay, where you push, pull, flip your partner over. Okay? So as soon as you drag, go again. Go, 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 go. Go, really tight, really tight. Look how my foot is grabbing his ankle here. Look how my arm is trying to slide. Go ahead, go. Despite the fact he has my arm, I start to work with the arm and the leg, stretching out, boom. As soon as the leg is in, keep fast. Foot on the hip right away. Foot on the hip, boom. Just pull me. Now I don't care here if he starts to get posture, get your posture. You have to start working on your partner's legs. You see how I put his posture on check right there? Keep passing the guard, go ahead. Passing the guard. It's not that difficult for you to accomplish that hook once you beat your partner's posture. So we have a hook with a leg drag into the half guard. Okay, start over again one more time. Go, 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 go. This time right now, keep going. Do you see how at this point he overcame my position? Go back one more time. And I really want to touch on that because if he backfires, the escape backfires, you still have a window of opportunity to get out of the bottom before he stabilizes. And I'm going to explain to you the key point right now. What happened here as he engaged on the knee right, he had too much of a powerful control here on my arm. I don't know if you guys noticed, I was not able to block his knee. So go back slow motion again on that one. He's going for the position. He got the position there. So what I do, as he tries to pass, I put my head inside his wrist. Okay, and as he tries to stabilize, I coil my legs, kick out. I still have the arm here. I don't know if you noticed that. I can get on all fours. And here when you're on all fours, what's really important that you remember is always to move your head back and forth. Don't be a stationary target. As you try to progress into anything, so you move back. See, it's more likely we're going to stay in a stalemate and both end up on each other's knees from this position. But I was able to avert the side mount because of two little details. One was the arm that he had control of. I opened, stretched out, and I fit my head in between. And second, before I moved my hip, I coiled my legs so I can do what I call like a kick. Okay, I really had to move my hip way far in order to accomplish the rollover. Okay, so this is the backup option in case you have enough pressure on this arm here that prevents you from stopping his knee from going. So as he stabilizes, see my head here? You see your head right here in between. Look, my legs coiled up. Here as I bump my hip, I'm already rolling. As he tries to control me, he only has one arm. See here? See, I can kind of use my head back and forth in order not to be a stationary target to his back control. Okay? But I want to repeat one more time when things go right, because I want you to know a couple of details that will make this position attainable. Over here, one time, Timmy, please, slow motion now. You're here. See, I try to keep my arms coiled enough, go ahead, that I can have, whether he has my sleeve or not, that I have my forearm blocking his knee while I have my other hand kind of covering here, go ahead. See here, I never let his knee progress sliding. It's like a break. Go ahead, move, move. Now here, you see I have that knee pushing the hip. That gives me room for the foot to hook under. See, it's important here now that I don't let go here, because I can start pulling his foot, but it's going to slip off once he kicks the leg out, and then he's going to pass. So it's really vital that in this position, once you go ahead, go, you block, excuse me, block. See, you have to push the knee, and whenever you want to hook, push the knee a little bit against the hip. That kind of opens more room. Move your hip if you need. Once you have that hook, see my left foot, you squeeze your right ankle against his foot. That kind of helps drag. the position there. And as he passes, go ahead. See, foot on the hip, start reestablishing your control. If he gets a good posture here for some reason, you start working to spread out that leg. Okay, posture again, one more time. It's not good for me to be here. So all I do is like I put the foot on inside his thigh. As I make his leg step out, I get there. And here I can adjust again once more the position, ankle pick. Move a little bit my foot, push one more time. Once I hook, it's pretty easy for me to make that leg go and eventually flip and move. And it's never too much to repeat one more time, again one more time. If your partner ever establishes the advantage from the beginning to the point where this arm is lost, keep going, you try to make sure that you can maneuver the shoulder. Do you see how he's blocking my shoulder here? If I try to turn right now, so I hide this hand kind of inside here, go ahead. See how I kind of make his arm go? Okay, and as he tries to stabilize with my hand, right here, I kind of stretch out, regardless if he has my arm or not. And as he tries to control, I'm on all fours and I have the advantage of having that grip there, okay? So, 3 elements, once more, so you don't forget it. I don't just want to show you how to avert a possible knee right pass. I want to make sure that if for some reason that happens, you can respond without panicking or giving in the guard, okay? Time. So we're here. Best case scenario. Go, 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 go. Keep passing. Keep passing. See? Position there. Boom. Worst case scenario. Go, go. Too much control there. And because I have this hand, it makes all the difference in the world. Anytime he tries to circle, go ahead. As I have his arm, see, I can either open space or move back and forth, as you see. See, I can get into an advantage position, or at least a stalemate situation. I wish I could show one counter that would fit all situations. Unfortunately, that's not possible. And with the knee right pass, since I consider that a very powerful guard pass, I need to work a couple more scenarios with you in order to make sure that you feel comfortable enough in that position, whether you have one of the 3 options at one point in time. When Tim is passing again, one more time, please. What I'll try to accomplish right now is hide this arm as much as I can. Go. Knee bump underneath. Keep going. Shin grip. Okay. You see how he's trying to keep the weight on me here? So I'm using the knee, okay, to shift his weight forward, and I'll bounce my leg after that to create some momentum for this arm to post on the ground. And as I'm here, I'm gonna work against his knee. Just gonna pull the knee and put pressure against his leg. If he stands up, it becomes a single leg position here, where I can pull the leg between my legs, or what I often do is I reach out for his second leg and use my shoulder to finish. I don't know if you noticed that he has a lapel for the entire time across my neck, and I'm never giving him too much of an angle. I'm really sideways over here. Okay, I don't want, for some reason, if he ever tries to reach me with the other arm to choke me, I don't want to have a straight angle. You see how my shoulder is pushing through his forearm? It's hard to speak with your head like that. No, it's okay. But anyways, going back again. So a lot of times, once you want to set that up, you kind of hide your hand behind. Okay, go. And look how my other arm is kind of hiding under my leg here. Go ahead. So I hide here, knee bump. I have the shin grip of a hook-like grip here with my hand. Go ahead. I use the knee bump a little bit. Remember the bouncing? Just to release that arm. Push your hand on the ground. As soon as you're here and you post your knee, I want to see you working on his knee to spread his knee out. So you can start putting some weight. I really like to stand up here in this position, like I said. Step behind, okay? You can run the pipe. Boom. Take him down. Make sure you pass right away. One more time. So basically the two features here, imagine you don't have this arm. Your arm is kind of hidden under your body. And imagine that this one is stretched out all the way. That's kind of how you start the position a little bit. Okay, so as soon as the guy gets you in the knee right pass, you kind of hide. You see that there? Hiding. See how my shoulder is moving? Eventually I bump the knee under his hip, control the shin, bounce a little bit. See how my shoulder and arm are moving out? Once I'm there, still keep real good pressure of the grip there, control. Okay? I like to circle too. Yes. Stabilize. Okay? Good job. I consider the knee bump always effective if you can protect this arm from being grabbed on. So just finalizing here. Cool. See how I kind of like get his hip on notice over here? The hand is already holding there. Keep going. Bounce. See here? Go back and go a step. You see how my arm is kind of stuck over here under his body? I want to pull the arm out. Look my leg here. Kick towards the ceiling. Once it comes down, he brings my shoulder up. I can post. Keep going. Pressure on the knee right away. See what I'm saying? Good job. I hope you guys have fun now against the knee right pass. What you're seeing right now is a drill geared towards increasing your attacks from the guard. Right now, you're not going to just sit around and wait for your partner to pass or try to pass your guard. You're going to be proactive. You're going to go after him. You're going to put him on notice that you're not waiting to settle. You're going to go after the kill. The first part of the training, I'm going to try to emphasize armbar attacks. And you're going to notice two important aspects. You need to have a hold of the target arm, whatever you want to get. Second, you cannot stop moving your whole body against his arm. It's almost like 100% guarantee that you succeed. If instead of trying to use muscle against muscle, that means just pulling him with your hands, use your hips, use your feet, and your mobility to affect his posture to a point where your legs will easily climb over his shoulders and you're going to lock in. And you're going to see also the armbar is not squeezed only straight. You can squeeze in different angles and twist the elbow in such a situation that he will tap whether you have the leg over the face or not. Going back here to what we've done earlier on. See, I don't care. I really right now I'm in the mood that I do not care what he's going to do. I'm going to go after him. Okay? So I secure a good grip on the lapel because I want to keep control over his head. I want to make heavy against his stance. I have good control against the target arm, which is the one I'm going to go and attack right away. Okay? Once I uncross my feet, I'm going to keep continuous motion of my hip. I don't know if you notice here that I screwed my hip, and my feet are going to be always active against the legs. At one point he held my leg, so I was going against his shoulder, and eventually when I switch my hip direction, I climb any way I can. You see how my leg is kind of like embracing his face? Here right now I have a great angle to go ahead and finish the armbar, okay? So how you finish the arm is not as important as how to get to the armbar, okay? Do not give your partner a chance to catch his breath or think about what's going on. The minute I unlock my feet, keep going, Timmy. See, my hips are going, I'm moving. Do you see here a foot kind of like posted a knee in between my legs. Keep moving. I'm already working with my other foot there. See, that already gave me the position here. Okay, one side here, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. I worked on his stance. That's what I wanted. I start climbing the leg. See here, I secure the position. See, I'm gonna squeeze unless he puts all his weight against me. Which right now, I don't know. Can you pull the arm out? Can you pull the arm out? Come on. See how I'm hanging there? Look at my foot breaking his balance. Look, that foot is not for you to show only. Look, I push that leg out. Okay? He tries to pin that leg down for some reason. I embrace his face with my other leg. Okay, and here I have a very good control because I have the lapel holding it, and I use my other hand here. Look, pull your arm out again one time. See here, I have that pressure on the shoulder. My hip at any point can put pressure here, and I really don't care too much where he goes. A lot of times, this position is kind of dangerous for him. Some guys will try to work walking over your face into this position to undo the armbar. That could be like a last resort for them, but usually they tap often enough before that happens, and we'll see how to alter that. We'll come to that troubleshooting. So what are my feet doing here? See, everywhere I touch, I put pressure. Come close to me, please. Everywhere. You see how I'm moving? Now, when I have grip over his body, see, I got a hold of something here, like a lapel and an arm. Move. See, when I move, but he stays. Look, his arm stays. Once I kind of climb my legs, see here, at this point right now, I don't know if you notice, his arm is bent. So instead of going for a straight arm bar, I just grab over and I help do like what we call Americana squeeze. I have the lapel, I pull the arm, and I let, just basically push a little bit the hip. That's enough pressure to tap him out. Okay? But what I want to emphasize here is you have control. Once you go for the arm and you have the head and the elbow, move a little bit. See your hip, how it moves. See here how I'm moving around. See, I'm climbing high. See now here, look, I keep my legs tight over here, look. See here right now, straight, Americana squeeze, okay? I can actually go against the other arm here and also attack a reversed arm bar on the opposite side. So the three basic maneuvers that you're gonna remember on when you do the position, okay? Head control by holding the cross lapel. Arm control is you want to target the arm. Is this the arm I want? I'm going to hold this arm. If I had anything to do with that arm, I would switch the control this way. Okay? I work on my strong side more often. I'm going to attack from this way. I'm right-handed. I feel more comfortable going this way. By no means I limit your options in case you want to switch sides. Be sure though to work well enough one side first before you try to switch around, which I don't think is productive because it messes up your reflexes. So once we're here, go ahead again. I'm gonna kind of go slow motion, keep standing up. As soon as the guy stands up, pressure right away. You really have to use pressure. Look how I move my hip, how I push both. Look, I'm stretching him out. Keep moving, keep moving. See, I always work on the pressure of the leg. Look, climbing. Once I climb there, I have a good hold. Straight or another kind of squeeze. Straight or pull the wrist, okay? Squeeze against your leg. This is actually a more type of pressure drill than what you would learn in a basic technique. But by no means I want you to be prevented from watching the position. If you go against somebody of lesser skills, you don't have to start turning the notch like the way I'm doing here. I want you to bear with me. Tim has been training with me for over 80 years, almost 10 actually. And he has enough skills that I'll never be able to start from the basic position. I really have to turn the notch really high. But I want to touch on this right now. We're going to do what we call a simple sweep or scissor sweep setup for the armbar, okay? And basically here, within a lesser resistance environment, this would be like the case. I'm here, collar and elbow. I move back and forth. Once I open the space to go for the simple sweep here, actually instead of try to complete the sweep, which is try to reverse my partner back again. I'll actually switch for an armbar. I kind of post my foot on his hip. I bump my hip to one side to give room for the other foot. Now here, I bump a little bit more. As I push that leg out there, I'm gonna bump my hip again, all the way until I pass my body around from under his arm here. Okay, and once I'm here in this position, I still kind of stretch my shoulder out a little bit. Here, you can climb over or across the face. Okay, and you have the armbar. So this is how a basic armbar setup will work from the scissor sweep. Okay, still you have the same elements of arm control and collar control. The only difference is that since he's not standing up so much, it gives me more kind of options here to kind of, like you see, kind of go around his elbow. See, and eventually, start stretching out. Kind of, get over here, squeeze, so get over here. Make sure that when you pass, if you ever decide to pass your leg over the face, instead of staying here, you kind of pivot on your shoulder and you roll all the way this way. Okay, that actually guarantees success on the position. This is called the Russian finish. Okay, the reason I say this will guarantee, I can tap him out very fast here. He doesn't have any leverage to lift or pull the arm out. And if he ever tries to walk over my head for some reason, which will be very common when the guy tries to escape, my arm is just waiting here. Once he comes, I block, go ahead, jump over. I block his leg, and I actually use the other leg to help flip him over. Once that happens, I align my hip under his elbow and follow up with the leg across the face. I have the finish ready to go without a problem. Okay? So, just going over the Russian maneuver one more time, which will be helpful in several instances, not just here. Okay? Remember this now, once you try to move your hip, it's very important that your hips don't touch the ground as you're moving back and forth. I can actually do the hip motion without holding him. See, I kind of put my weight on one shoulder, then once I put my weight on the other shoulder, I pull my hip back out. See, that's how you should move your hip. Okay? Of course, that having the control of the lapel and the elbow will give you additional advantage in terms of control. See, because once you're here, boom, you have like the situation either for the sweep, which right now is not the case, but then the switch for the armbar, which will still include the same hip bump, foot blocking the leg, you start pushing the leg, hip bump, switching direction, stretch your shoulders. Okay? Once you step over, I mean, you can finish here, but likely you're gonna kind of have to go for the, remember what I told you, as you go for the Russian, make sure that you keep him from jumping over and finish him off. Okay? There is a similar situation that takes place when instead of attacking with one hand on the arm and the other one on the lapel, you're going to initiate both holding the sleeve. Okay? The thumbs will be inside. Thumbs inside the sleeve. And so basically here, this position is a little tougher to keep him from standing up because I don't have enough control over his head to force his weight down. Okay? But still here, if I use enough my legs, see, I have the position here, he starts defending. See, I'm gonna move, I'm gonna start adding my foot. See, I start working to push. See what I'm saying? Over here, and eventually kind of end up in a similar set. Okay, where I have the leg over, the elbow locked against my hip. Okay, go back again. A lot of times, it's easier for you, in case you want to go for arm bars, to secure a transition position like the triangle, which is like when you're here and you add the foot, you kind of add your knees inside the chest. See what I'm saying? And here, move a little bit, Tim. See, it's very important that I keep a lot of pressure against his elbow. See, anytime his hips move forward, move your hip forward a little bit, get your head out. See, here it's going to be really difficult for me to follow up. Go back again. So what I do, I keep enough pressure against his elbows and against the hip right away so I can have this climb. See, now I drag his arm. See, once I push the arm here against my leg, as if I'm going for the triangle, I back up a little bit my body, knee push against the face. You see that? And leg across the forehead. Now here, the nice thing about this position, I'm kind of keeping light. Timmy, do you feel pressure on your neck right now?
Yes.
Position. Some people complain of a choke, which is not my intention. My intention here is to prevent him from first pulling the arm out, pull your arm out. So I'm holding his head with my leg, you see that? And second, to prevent him from passing my guard. If he tries to put the shoulder against my leg, you see how I kind of hang on your neck for a little bit? It's a lot tighter than if I don't push, which is like the case when, for instance, I just worry about getting this leg over the head. I want to pass my guard as I do it, please. See here? Yeah. The guy simply just walks over your guard without even regarding the attempt. Okay? Double sleeve grip over here, and you are mobile on your hips. Okay, 1 and 2. Okay, here. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Once you control, defend. Come on, defend, defend, defend. Over here, keep moving, keep moving. See, all I want is not even to get the triangle. I want to get your arm here. You can even hold my leg. That's all right. I'll kind of grab your hand. Keep going there. Up a little bit. Push your face. Yeah, push the elbow. Actually, you're kind of tempting me to go for the triangle a little bit there, but I want you to defend the triangle now. Whichever way you feel like, go ahead. Yeah. See how I go for your hand? What I really want here is this. If I can get this, see, that's called, I'm sorry, are you okay there?
Yes, sir.
The Americana squeeze. He would escape 10 times out of 10 of my triangle if he had his hand grabbing my knee. So I'll try to the best of my ability to intercept his grip. We're gonna go back in more depth to that particular situation. I just want to review one more time. Excuse me. The basic double sleeve, foot on the hip and leg push, arm bar setup. Okay, so once I'm here, go ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. I can try it right here. If I really want to follow up, I pivot on my shoulder. Once I'm here, I go here. That's the position I want. That's a pretty much done deal here. Okay? If there is a need for me though, like I mentioned, to avoid him from walking over my head as he tries to escape. See, I'll block there as I have control over here. And eventually I try to work not so much against this leg, but more against this leg here. Okay, I control, I pull, I kick my leg up. Move my hip under his elbow, get my leg across the face, finish him off. So we have here 2 easy to do yet very effective armbar attacks from the guard. All right, right now what we're going to try to accomplish at this point is work what we call shoulder block leg climb armbar setup. Why do we say shoulder block? It's an interesting concept because if you do not block your shoulder, your partner's shoulder, he's going to be able to drive all his weight down and eventually sabotage your attempt and angle to accomplish the armbar. How does that work? I'll first kind of demonstrate what has been taught several times in Jiu-Jitsu, which when you first start, a lot of times, basically they teach you want one arm, you kind of like drag the arm in a little bit, get your foot on the hip, scoot your hip out towards the side of the arm you want to attack, try to climb the other leg as high as possible, either block the face or grab the shoulder, and eventually pass the leg over the face. Very common setup, okay? What happens here is anytime Tim feels his arm is under threat, he will drive his weight down. That's one of the main reactions you can expect, okay? So like for instance, if I was here, trying to follow that procedure here and did everything right, okay? As I'm going for the position, go ahead. So I'm grabbing the arm, I'm not blocking the shoulder, I have a good angle with the arm. But here, look how his shoulder is overwhelming my leg. I'll never be able to develop an angle to step over his face, okay? Once I have what we call shoulder block, that's pretty much when I have the collar grip, that same hand is gonna work to block the shoulder, okay? And here, as I move in this position, go ahead again. See, when I open space and I try to go for the armbar, my first objective is to climb, my legs over his shoulder. And usually I try to climb the leg over the shoulder first instead of the other leg behind the back, okay? Which is another problem that sometimes takes place. Okay, here, go ahead and move a little bit. So once I climb here, I still have to beat the angle of his elbow. I don't know if you notice, his elbow is kind of wide over here. I cannot accomplish the step over the face until I get rid of this elbow. So my hip will change levels and I'll keep pushing with my fist. Punch grip, remember, not the hand but the fist, until his elbow points in. Once I'm there, now I keep that shoulder block in case he ever tries to put the weight forward. See how I'm sustaining his weight with my arm blocking over there? Now it's time for me to kind of grab the head, and I'll try to tilt his head towards my leg as much as I can, and I lift my hip up. Very important. Most arm bars are lost at this stage. Because what happens here, if my hip is low, as I try to go for the arm bar, he's going to pull the elbow out. Okay, that happens a lot. All right, so when I was here earlier, okay, usually the leg that's over the shoulder remains locked under the other leg. I grab the head and I lift my hip. Do you see that? How my hip is elevated? Now I do what we call the short little steps. In this case, because I'm attacking and my left leg is the one that I'm going to step over first, I'm going to step that leg higher a little bit, then the other one higher a little bit, and then finally, my left leg goes over again. And here right now, I have all the ability to finish him. I don't know if you notice, if he ever tries to put his weight forward, see, he's messed up because my leg is blocking his face, and I still have the shoulder block, and if he tries to pull his arm out, I have my hip really tight against his shoulder. See how I'm squeezing my calf behind his back, and I can literally take all the time to finish him here. One of the things I want you to observe though is if for some reason at this stage you feel your partner still overwhelms you with his weight, if you ever let go of the shoulder, try to get to the arm, you're going to do what we call the V grip, okay? Your grip is going to go across over here, secure your sleeve, and you pull your wrist against your partner's wrist. The reason I say that, he tries to pull his arm out. Now I'm opening the leg just to demonstrate how much pressure he has against his wrist here. Do you see that? I'm not here with the elbow. Pull your arm out, please. Go back again. I'm here. See what I'm saying? So once I was here in this position, I either finish him or start working against his leg. You see how I'm kind of spinning under him here? See that usually I don't have to flip my partner, which is a misconception in this position. People only become, happy about this position if they can literally flip the guy over. All I want is to shift his weight. His weight is on me. Go ahead. I try to get his weight off me. If that happens, I don't try to flip him. I try to finish the armbar, which is clamp your legs behind and elevating your hip. Okay? So the second situation is geared towards when the guy wants to stack you. He wants to stack you. You're going to V-grip and you're going to grab the leg. We're gonna kind of go over that slow again one more time. I don't know if you noticed that this is the most favorable circumstance for arm bar, for the one I'm demonstrating, when the arms are even and high on your chest. There's plenty of room underneath his elbow for your legs and hip. So once I have the grip here, okay, and I initiate the position, I kind of secure one elbow kind of in between, to, you know, foot on the hip here. I kind of pull the elbow and push the shoulder. I don't care too much about what he does. All my goal is to get my calf over the shoulder. Once that happens, I climb my legs and I secure the second leg behind the back. I still adjust his elbow by using my hip up and down, you see here. Guys, keep your elbow tight, please. I cannot move his arm with my arm alone. Like I said, I have to use my whole body here. You see that? Once I'm here, okay, everything is good for me to grab the head, okay? I try to tilt his head. I lift my hip and I do the 3 little steps. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Here is the best case scenario. I have the tap right away. Worst case scenario, he still puts the weight against me. He's a very heavy, strong guy, assuming that I can't overwhelm him there. Hold your arm, okay, that's fine. You can still grab your arm if you want to. The other hand, I do what we call the V grip. I pursue his wrist. I grab my lapel and I put wrist against wrist. Okay, I let go the collar. My hand digs under his thigh, and I will always turn my palm, pointing my thumb down. Whenever I grab his thigh, look at my hands. Okay, so I'm here, I turn. Once I shift his weight, I'll squeeze my calf as much as I can. Put your weight back on me, please. Do you see how I already prevented that from happening? Right now, all I need to do is stretch my hip and pull the wrist with my arm, and the position takes place. There is one last variation on how to finish this position. Several seasoned fighters, when they feel the leg is about to get over their face, they change to evade the angle by moving out of the way. So if the leg is supposed to come from this side, they're gonna always try to move away, okay? And I don't know if you noticed at different times, Tim he's actually an expert in this evasion maneuver, okay? So we're going again for the shoulder block leg climb. So I'm here, foot on the hip. Sometimes it's good for you to open space. Foot on the hip, always put pressure. Whenever you put the foot on the hip, don't rest the foot there. Pressure right away, pull the elbow, push the shoulder, climb your calf, okay, bump your hip, get the elbow in position. Now I'm about to grab his head. I still have the shoulder block, remember. I'm not going with both hands against the arm. I'm staying stable on my position here. He doesn't want this leg to get over. So a lot of times, despite the fact I want to grab his head and keep his head locked this way, he still has some power if he really wants to throw his weight that way. Go ahead. As soon as he does that, I'll literally grab his hand or wrist. That's what I do. And you don't have to finish him. You do not depend for the submission on having your leg over the shoulder. All you want to do here is, as soon as you secure the grip, you lift. Okay, lift a little bit, and then let your hip do the rest for you. Either he's going to tap out because the pressure is going to be overwhelming, or he's going to try in a desperate attempt switch the weight back to where he was. So his head is going to slowly, gradually move back the other way. If that happens, all I need to do is grab and lift my hip 1, 2, and 3. And here we go. I have the first finish. If you ever puts enough weight, then stops my finish. V grip. How does the V grip works? Sleeve, wrist against wrist. You can hold your arm, that's all right. Here now, I switch the grip under. See, once I'm here, I kick out just enough that I can shift your weight. See, I'm not worried at all about flipping him over. Now here, look my legs. Clamp, and here, let your hip do the rest. Overwhelming pressure, successful finish. Thank you, Tim. Now, I wish it was that easy to do the finish, but as you see, not always the situation will be perfect. Your partner a lot of times will not give you the space that we had just a second ago when both of his arms were even on your chest. What you're going to see now is a strategy when the arms are uneven. And this is what I'm talking about over here. My partner has one arm high on the chest and the other one low against the hip. So right off the bat, he's going to neutralize that leg. Anything I try to do, if I open my guard, if I open my legs right now, actually I'm in danger of having him pinning my leg and getting his knee across. And right now it's not an armbar situation I'm going after. It's a survival situation. I would have to face him passing my guard. So basically here what I want to see is two things. If you feel there is a feasible room for you to circle your knee underneath his elbow, as you uncross your feet, right away you're going to start turning your knee in, okay? And your knee is going to try to go as much inside his arm and then out against the chest as you can, all right? Go back one step, keep your elbow in. If you feel for some reason the arm is too tight and there's no way, you opt though to climb over the shoulder, move your hip against his chest, okay? So it's almost like you're going for a triangle, but actually here, I stretch my hip and I ride his arm back across, knee, I back up a little bit, knee push against the face, cross your leg over. And why it's important, the knee push here, if the guy tries to pull the arm out, it's a lot of pressure against his neck. If he tries to push the shoulder against my leg to pass the guard, still it's a lot of pressure there of control. I have his neck, really important there. When I cross the second leg over, it's on the forehead that prevents him from moving the weight towards me, right? If he tries to stack me, do you see how he's trying to stack me here? And I still have my body elevated and his arm is extended, okay? It's not the case if the leg is too wide or too tight. Okay, it has to be right across the forehead, okay? And here we go, and we have the finish. This finish might even take place if the guy actually almost passes your guard. See, he's here, you still kind of pop the arm out and you keep pushing against the leg, which is almost like a last resort for you, and I don't think you're going to incur into this problem if you follow all the steps I'm describing. So one more time, uneven arms. Best situation for uneven arms is as I open back and forth, I circle my knee inside, come back with the knee on the chest, and we've seen this situation before where your whole body goes against his arm. You change the stance, climb your leg over. Here I already have, the arm bar. Okay? The same thing again, uneven arms. This time it's going to keep the arm really tight and make it almost impossible for me to step over. So as I open space here, instead I opt to go over the shoulder. Now really important here is not to rush into the position. You have to secure the grip behind the neck. So you first move your hip, tie up a little bit the triangle, just to get the arm in position. Once you're there, stretch out, push. One more thing here, just knee push against the face. When you're in this position here, stack a little bit. You cannot just push the knee against the face. You have to slide away from the guy. See, so he's stacking there. See how I kind of push my head, walk on my shoulders a little bit. Here now, look, I push the knee, tie up, boom, finish him off.
Pull your arm, go ahead. V-grip, that's what I call V-grip. So I want to make a point here that this position makes a difference on how effective your finish is. So